political aspirations. And I ask that because we have this by-election, because we have two MLCs who decided they want to be politicians. What's your views? Have you got political ambitions?
It's a very simple question, Paul. None whatsoever. And that's why I'm standing for LegCo rather than for the House of Keys. I have no desire to be an MHK. I don't want to be a minister. What I want to do is to be involved in government, in helping with the legislation. So I have a role to play, but it is definitely not a political aspiration. My heart goes out to those guys. I couldn't do what they do.
I too don't have political aspirations in that realm. My legal background makes me more drawn to the role of an MLC. Also, my accent might be a little hard to carry a constituency, but nonetheless, I do feel that my skills and my qualification and my understanding of how the local economy here works makes me a really good candidate for an MLC.
No, not in the sense that the question's been asked.
It's slightly different for you though, isn't it? Sorry? Obviously you, Bill, because you have tried.
I have tried, yes.
So,
I did. I stood for the House of Keys twice. Some people say I shouldn't therefore be permitted an opportunity to serve on Legislative Council.
and your answer is?
Well, I understand what people are saying. I understand what they're thinking when they say that. But I would say, first of all, when I stood in 2016, I got 1,090 votes. I got more votes than a quarter of the people who were elected. If I'd been in an election like Guernsey with an all-island vote, I'd have been in on that. So I did well. Many people said there were three strong candidates in middle, and that if I'd stood in any one of half a dozen other constituencies, I'd have been elected. So I would say that. But the deal with my long-suffering wife was that I'd have two attempts, and if the door didn't open at the second attempt, I wouldn't carry on any further. So I have no ambitions of returning or getting into the Keys. My ambitions, I think I would say, are restricted to some outcomes. I want to see outcomes in relation to what's going on in relation to population, something dear to my heart. I want to see us taking real steps forward and reducing emissions on climate change. And I want to see some real outcomes that support our younger people, outcomes that see our minimum wage reach the living wage. And so I'm keen to see some outcomes. So yes, I've got some political ambitions, but not personal ones, outcomes.
Okay, Connor?
Thank you. At this point, absolutely not. I don't sit here today as a kind of frustrated MHK trying to get through the back door. As a couple of other people touched upon, the skill set that I have at the moment and for the position I'm in, the roles I have within my work lend itself to that kind of scrutiny element. And my eyes are open to that. So I would never say never to anything. I wouldn't like to rule myself in or out of anything. But at this position, certainly not. I know what this role is. I know what this role's about. I believe I have the skills for this role at present, and that's where I stand on things.
No political with a capital P, but I have to accept that standing for this sort of role, then there's quite a bit of political with a small p. So quite similar to Paul's comment, you know, I am expecting to be involved in political discussion, debate, and then supporting people making decisions. In some cases, making decisions as well for myself. But no, I have no ambitions to move from one to the other.
Obviously slightly different for you, Bill.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I guess it's a bit of a strange question, because I would argue everyone sitting around this table has political ambitions, because this is a political role. An MLC is a politician in the Isle of Man, and MLCs have a vote on a whole raft of important issues. So I think we all have political ambitions. I am not able to commit for a 5-year term. So at present, as things stand, I will not be standing for MHK or for MLC in 2023. But in politics, you should never say never. So who knows long term. But at this moment in time, my absolute ambition is to try and help this next administration deliver real change quickly for the people of the Isle of Man.
Want to go, then we'll have like a minute wrap. Just you give them a warning. Is that right? Time-wise, yeah. So, You finish that question, political?
No, I've got no ambitions of going into keys. I think the two roles are really different, and my skill set's definitely suited towards the MLC side as opposed to MHKs.
Thank you very much indeed. So,